Thank you. Hi, I'm Ron from Dirdak, and we do software. We are in the market for over 25 years, and we are specialized in mobile alerting and incident management. With Signal 4, we provide a SaaS product for mobile alerting, which, as you might have guessed, plays nicely with Checkmk. A question first, what kind of notifications do you use with Checkmk? So there are a couple of possibilities here, and you can use Slido to vote, and I'm really excited about the results here. I guess most of you or some of you work in 24/7 on-call duty, so you are heroes, and yeah, for the rest of you, you're lucky. Wow, okay. Still some movement here. Yeah, I guess there is a clear winner. That's very interesting. Let me continue here. SMS and email, in many cases, are sufficient. Yeah, that's what we have seen, and that's, of course, how you work, and you know best how to work, of course. In other cases, they're not sufficient. You might want to use a different notification channel. For example, you want to use a voice call to wake you up at night. You want to use a combination of different communication channels, like my favorite tip is to use a push notification along with a fitness band to wake you up softly, and after 2 minutes, then initiate a louder phone call that wakes you up, but wakes your whole family up as well. Then escalation between people. If one person is not able to take the call, make sure it gets escalated to another person so that somebody can take care of the issue. On-call planning. Integrated on-call planning is very useful. The #1 on-call planning tool, you know that one? Excel, right. But there are better ones. A mobile app to manage your alerts, to acknowledge your alerts. Mobile app would be quite nice, I guess. And status updates, two-way status updates. If you, as an on-call engineer in the middle of the night, handle an issue, wouldn't it be nice to acknowledge it directly from your mobile phone so that people in the US at their daytime see, okay, this is the status of the problem, so somebody will take care so that you don't get another wake-up call in the middle of the night. And it goes beyond notifications and alerting. Ticketing is a big topic, right? So some play it like monitoring, ticketing, alerting. Others play it monitoring, alerting, ticketing. Maybe you would like to do a combination. So monitoring and have the alert and the ticket at the same time. No-code integration. I recently read this on Reddit. There was a question about how can I integrate a no-code tool with my monitoring. Enrichment. An on-call engineer in the middle of the night, he or she needs all the information that is required to resolve an issue. So maybe you get some host information from a CMDB, from a knowledge base, and put it into the alert text before sending it out. Reporting is a big topic, and AI, no presentation without AI, I guess. For example, for alert summaries. Yeah, so maybe you have an article extracted from a knowledge base, and you would like to provide a summary so that everything is visible at the first sight. Or translations for people speaking different languages to make it easier at the first sight as well to recognize what the problem is about. And of course, there is no limit to your own ideas, and at the end of the presentation, hopefully you will be able to create your own notification package for Checkmk. But first of all, maybe you want to check if something like what you're looking for is already available. So check out Checkmk. check out Checkmk Exchange. There's a search, and there are a lot of packages available already. This is one example here. And you can download it from Checkmk Exchange, import it to your Checkmk, and this is how it looks like. This is what I have created. And how did I do that? Well, first of all, I read the documentation thoroughly. Yeah, no, I didn't. I downloaded a package. There are also sample packages available, Hello World examples. And I checked out this MKP file. And to my delight, it is a zipped file containing a couple of other files. At the top here, you see some files containing general information, some meta information, a name, version information, some links, a description. At the bottom, you have a file that represents your configuration parameters, like an API file. This is a Python file here, but you can use, or you should use, a YAML file now, which makes things even easier. And in the middle, there is also a Python file containing all the logic. In my case, I just wanted to send a HTTP request to Signal4 in order to trigger the alert. So I thought, cool. I change everything accordingly, put everything together into my MKP file, and it didn't work. So I read the documentation. The documentation is actually very good. There are two main things you can do to create an MKP file. One is a command line. So there is a command line tool. And the other one, I really like it a lot. So the other one is to create the MKP file directly from the graphical user interface of Checkmk, unless you have the raw edition where this option is not available. So here is how it looks like. You see what is in the two topmost files from the previous slide. The information like name, version number, some link to a GitHub repository, if you like, description. And then here you have available files. And you can just put your Python file or your configuration file into a certain directory on the Checkmk server, and Checkmk will automatically display those files for you here. And then you can move them from available to selected. That means they are now part of your MKP file. Save the file, export the file, share the file with whomever you like. You can even make it publicly available on Checkmk Exchange, and you're good to go. Coming to the Python file, so how does this Python file look like? And this is a very, very simplified example. The Python file is called by Checkmk each time a problem on a service or a host is detected. And not only if a problem is detected, but for all status changes. So it allows you to send out a notification or send out an alert, but also to close an alert for the according status. At the top, you can access all the parameters, like the service, host, the status information. Then you can assemble those values into your message text. In my case, it's a JSON file or JSON structure, and then use standard Python methodology to send the request. This is what you can do, and of course you can do other things in between, so request information from a CMDB first or whatever you like to do. One important note, and that was a pitfall for me, make sure this file is executable. Otherwise, it won't work. Some tips and tricks here. Check out the documentation. It really makes sense, and it gives you a good overview, and maybe you want to start here. But also, maybe have a look at different available MKP files that are on Checkmk Exchange. There are samples, as I've mentioned, so the Hello World example, I think there are even more Hello World examples. So you can check out those. The community is super helpful. Yeah, so the community on checkmk.com. There is also a lot of things going on Reddit. And of course, right now, if you're here at the conference, you can talk to the people directly. So thank you, everybody, supporting me in the room, in the community. That was very helpful. Another thing that was super helpful for me was this little button here, the green little button. Yeah, so this is, when you have created a notification rule, a simple option to just test this notification. Yeah, for me, it's really making my life easier. Yeah, so not everybody tool has this option, especially if you are just having a test environment, a virtual machine with not too much monitoring going on. This is very helpful. Tanya, thank you. Tanya and team, thank you. Logging, yeah, so you can test the Python functionality outside of Checkmk before implementing it in the package. And what I find useful as well is a request bin. So you send your request not to your tool, like, I don't know, push over Telegram where you don't have logging, but you send it to a request bin, a website providing you a URL, and you see what you have sent, and that makes things clearer. All right, maybe one thing back. By the way, you can also, and this is what some people in this room have done, you can also use an existing MKP file, like the Signal4 one, and extend it with additional information or with additional functionality. Yeah, so that's also possible, and you can use it according to your needs. Right, now you're able to send notifications from Checkmk to whatever notification tool you are using. And it doesn't stop here. In Checkmk, you can acknowledge or annotate host or service problems. And this is very helpful, as I have mentioned the example, so to have everybody on the same page, the guy in Europe and the guy in the US, the guy in front of the dashboard and the mobile worker. And what you see here is an acknowledgement and an annotation, and this can be done very easily using the API, the Checkmk API, and what you see here is indeed all you need to acknowledge a host problem, along with a notification or along with a comment. You can test this in your favorite tools, Visual Studio Code, Postman, curl, and now you have a two-way integration, a notification or alert, and the way back. That's it. So if you need more than email or SMS, check out what's available in Checkmk, check out Checkmk Exchange, and now you're able to build your own extensions to send notifications from Checkmk and even to send status informations, status updates back to Checkmk. That's it from my side. Happy monitoring, happy alerting, and thank you very much.